I've never really been big on video games. Since I was young, I've always just been sitting behind my brothers watching them play on our PlayStation. But when I saw how pretty the graphics of the remake were, I got interested in watching other people play, and was reminded of its progressive environmentalism themes with an anti-capitalist perspective that still holds relevant more than 20 years later. If you watched my first video, you'll know that I love PowerPoints. So today I decided to make a Final Fantasy VII remake inspired PowerPoint about climate change with an anti-corporate, anti-capitalist spin on it. One I imagine Avalanche presenting if they weren't eco-terrorists. To start, I had to do some research on climate change to get some content for the slides. I also watched some Let's Plays at 2x speed to get some screenshots. So this is the mood board I'm going to reference while I design the PowerPoint. I've also set up the color palette, and the font I'll be using is PT Sans because it looks modern. For the title slide, I was stuck between these three pictures, but I ended up with the iconic cloud one. It gives a feeling of animosity against Shinra that fits the theme and color scheme of the presentation. I gave a Mako colored glow to the title to make it stand out. The remake interface uses a lot of faded lines, and I made them by setting the line color to a gradient and having one of the sides being transparent. This diamond border is used all over the menus of the game, so I'll also be using it often for the PowerPoint. So here's a finished title slide. I started the presentation off with one of those grandiose quotation slides and decorated it based on the materia and equipment screen. I used one of many iconic lines by Barrett. I made a small progress bar inspired by the compass in the game. I'll be making 5 slides, so I made 5 diamonds, with one bigger, brighter, and glowing to show our current progress. So here is our quotation slide for our motivational speaker. Next, I'll make a graph slide with some data about CO2 emission levels. The subheading is based on the conversation log. Now that I've set up the body text, we can move to Excel and back to make our graph. There are too many points in the x-axis, so we can increase the number of intervals in between. I also added a pretty glow to those lines. So here's a finished graph slide. I'm going to make a global map slide inspired by the game's blueprint style map design and the controls page. I'm going to highlight the top 3 countries that emit the most greenhouse gases by lowering the opacity of all the other countries. I downloaded this SVG file online, which allows you to edit parts of the graphic on PowerPoint. Just remember to click Convert to Shape. The link is in the description. So here's the finished map slide. I made a text-heavy slide which basically says,
"Everything Shinra has told you is a damn lie. Mako is the lifeblood of our planet. Those greedy are bleeding it dry."
To make the wall of text less intimidating, I added some pictures on the left. I chose some screenshots of the Shinra HQ. I'll make the detailed body text a light shade of gray to make the subheading stand out a bit more. So here's a text-heavy slide for times when you just have a lot to say. For the last slide, I'm going to rotate the subheading sideways since most of the remake screens have their titles sideways. I wouldn't do it normally for my corporate PowerPoints since it makes it difficult to read, but since this is just for fun, it's okay. I used screenshots of the cutscenes to visualize my points, and I had to reach quite a bit. There wasn't any pictures of food in the remake, so I got this screenshot of mapo tofu in Final Fantasy XV, which is basically the only vegetarian dish that looked nice. I used a train scene to represent taking public transportation, got Cloud drinking straight from a cup instead of a straw, and got some Shinra middle managers for the investing point. So here is the last finished slide. Thank you for watching till the end of this video. You can find the download link to the template in the description. If you have any suggestions for themes and topics for my next one, please leave them in the comments. Bye!